Hi, I'm Connor from Roundtable Audio, and today I'll show you how to use a wah pedal, covering everything you need to know from how to set it up, how it works, and some tips and playing techniques that you can use to become a better player with wah. So let's get started. To set up your pedal, connect your guitar to the input and your amplifier to the pedal's output, making sure that the pedal has power, either using a power supply or a 9-volt battery. I always recommend using a power supply over a battery where possible because they're a lot more reliable. To turn most wah pedals on, you simply push the foot rocker down to click the on switch underneath. Then you should hear the pedal effect coming through your amp. If the pedal hasn't come on or you can't hear your guitar, double check that all the cables are connected as they should be. One thing with some older wah pedals is that they can be hard to turn on, as the material underneath that's meant to click on the button wears away. But you can actually fix this pretty easily by putting on some sticky pads, the kind that you'd put on furniture to stop it from scratching a floor. If you're using a wah alongside other pedals, it will normally go towards the beginning of your pedal chain, after your tuner and any pitch pedals, but before distortion. But this is just advice, not a rule. Some people put wah after their distortion, some people even put it after their modulation. It's all about the sound that you're trying to get. So try a bunch of different placements and see what sounds best for you. Unlike other pedals where you set the sound using knobs and dials, wah pedals are expression pedals, meaning that you change their sound as you're playing them by using the foot rocker. Moving the rocker away from you gives your guitar a sharp treble-heavy sound, and moving the rocker back gives a warmer, bassier sound. By moving the rocker backwards and forwards, you get the classic wah-wah sound that the pedal's named after. Let's take a look at some examples of playing techniques that you can use with your wah pedal. An easy and effective way to use a wah pedal is to rock it to the beat of the song that you're playing. The best example I can think of this is the intro to Jeff Beck's Hammerhead. It's just really straightforward, back and forth on the beat use of the wah. Using your wah like this reinforces the rhythm of what you're playing and helps to drive a song forward. It's also an easy technique to do if you're just getting started with the wah, almost like tapping your foot on the beat. You don't have to juggle coordinating your hands and your feet and things like that. Everything just kind of moves together. Another way to use wah is to give some percussive interest to a song. By muting the strings with your fretting hand while strumming, you can get the classic wacka-wacka sound that wah's known for. There's plenty of examples of this, as it's probably the widest known use for wah. But the most iconic has to be the intro to Voodoo Child by Jimi Hendrix. It's a great way to add some interest to a song, especially if you want to highlight its natural groove or rhythm. You can add more complexity to the sound by switching between the low and high strings, as well as adding in some Nile Rodgers style chucking, to get some really fun percussive results. If you're a lead guitarist and want your licks and solos to stand out, then using a wah can be great at adding accents to your playing. There's a lot of great examples of this. Some ones that stand out to me are the main solo in Sweet Child of Mine by Guns N' Roses, all the solos in The Joker by the Steve Miller Band, and most things by Joe Satriani, particularly Surfing with the Alien. One thing I recommend doing is practicing a wow effect with your wah pedal. You do this by opening and closing the wah on a single note, so you get a wow sound. You can do this from heel to toe, or from toe to heel for some different interesting effects. You can also leave your wah in a fixed position, meaning that you just turn it on, find a sound that you like, and then leave it. This gives your guitar a nasally pointed sound, famously used on Money for Nothing by Dire Straits. This tone trick has been used by plenty of players over the years, notably Michael Schenker from UFO and Michael Schenker Group, and Mick Ronson during his time with Bowie. It's a bit of an acquired taste, but it's a quick way to dial in some authentic vintage rock tones. Instead of leaving it still, you can try rapidly rocking your wah pedal to get a kind of tremolo-like effect. This happens as you'll perceive the movement from the treble to bass frequencies as a volume drop. Again, it's a bit of a niche use for a wah pedal, but it's a good skill to have in your guitar playing toolkit, especially if you want to add some interest to a guitar solo or some long drawn out chord passages. If you slow this technique down and just move it slowly backwards and forwards, you can get a sweeping filter effect. Again, this can add some interest to long chord passages, or it can also build up some tension in a song. Combine it with some long tail delay and you can get some really vintagey sounding prog rock tones. If you're not happy with the way that your wah pedal sounds, you can actually change the range on most pedals by making a really simple adjustment. To do this, open up the bottom of your wah pedal. Then loosen this screw here and move this plastic bit, called the pressure element, to the side. Then move this part, called the rack, back off the gear. Then you can spin the pot, setting a new end position. I found that my wah pedal sounded a little bit flat the way that it came, but after making this adjustment, it gave me a little bit of extra headroom so I can get a more pronounced wah sound from it now. And there we have it. Now you know how to get the most out of your wah pedal. So what songs are you going to learn on your wah pedal? Let me know in the comments below and subscribe for more guitar tips. Thank you.